So guys, it's the final Olympic recap video. And unfortunately, well, Slovenia fell short. Slovenia fell a little bit short. Obviously, this is going to be the thumbnail for the video because, again, Luka Doncic against clicks. It's not going to be all about him because it wasn't all about him. It was the Slovenia national team. It was, obviously, Luka Doncic was their leader. He was their best player. He played one of the best games I've ever seen the Olympics against an Argentine team who were a lot worse than people thought they were going to be, in fairness. But at the end of the day, man, he's still potentially the MVP of the whole competition. Between him, Patty Mills, and Kevin Durant. Between those three guys. But, like, you also got to give credit to Zoran, who stepped up at times. You got to give credit to Janjar, who stepped up. Mike Toby had a great Olympics. Like, the Slovenia team was good. And man, there's one thing, I will talk a little bit about it a little bit later, but there's one thing right after the game with Luka Doncic that I really, really like. But first of all, fair play. Congratulations to Slovenia for doing as well as they did. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short, but man, like, you gotta love it. Anyone who's a fan of international basketball, again, like when it comes to international basketball, outside of cheering against America, which we all do, because, well, you see stuff like this. If you're wondering why we cheer against America, we see stuff like this. I watched the game in Eurosport, and it had the America coverage. The halftime highlights were only showed America scoring, and this is like the European broadcast. Their halftime highlights only showed America scoring. The commentators spent the whole game not knowing anything about the French players. They didn't know a thing about them. Like, they're just oblivious. Like, most American people are oblivious as to basketball in the rest of the world. Because of BS like this logo right here, Kevin Durant's the Olympic GOAT. And then the quote tweets, I'm thinking, okay, maybe someone in the quote tweets, maybe someone has an idea. Manu Ginobili, okay, I'm good with that. I think Kevin Durant over Manu Ginobili. Manu's 2004 Olympics was incredible. Absolutely incredible. But Kevin Durant has 3 of them, and in his 3 finals, dropped 30, 30, 30, and 29. I'm giving, as much as I love Manu, I'm giving Kevin Durant the nod over him. But you can see a bunch of people. Melo. How is Melo the greatest Olympian of all time? This doesn't make sense. Carmelo Anthony was part of the team who came 3rd. By the way, who lost 3 games. He was part of the Nightmare team. In 2008, he was the 5th best player. Wade, Kobe, LeBron, without question, top 3 best players on that team. Maybe the 4th best player on that team. 2012, Kevin Durant was better. 2016, Kevin Durant was better. 2020, Kevin Durant won a gold medal. Pretty much, actually, no, I gotta give Drew Holiday credit. And the 2 games Tatum stepped up. But Kevin Durant was out here freaking looking like Luka Doncic carrying these guys. He was out here looking like he carried. There's no question. Carmelo Anthony was never the best player on his Olympic team. The one reason people talk about Olympic Melo is because he had the highest accumulated total. Because he played in 2 more Olympics than Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant still had nearly as many points as him before this Olympics. But the real GOAT, you can see here, the real GOAT is this guy right here. It's Oscar Schmidt. Like, the guy averaged like 30 a game in the Olympics. He averaged like 30 a game. And unfortunately, he happened to be from Brazil. That's the only reason he didn't win more. He legitimately averaged 30 a game through 5 Olympics. It's not even a bad. As much as I love Manu, first of all, Kevin Durant so far above Melo. Like, yeah, a lot of people remember the Nigeria game because that's the thing that I've noticed with a lot of American fans. They would rather watch the game where they win by 80 points than watch the really close game where they win by 3. And that's where the whole narrative of they beat everyone by 100 points comes from. Because I know people that the only USA game that they've ever watched was when they beat Nigeria by 80 points. And they've watched that game over and over again, where Melo scored 40. And that's where the whole Olympic Melo thing has mainly come from. The fact that most people I know, again, maybe I'm wrong, most people I know from America have just rewatched that game over and over again. And that was what built the narrative that America are expected to beat every other team by 50. When in reality, what happened in this Olympics is more so closer to what it's like, where America are the best team. They were without question the best team in this Olympics. They're going to have to come through a lot of tight games. And if they are not at the races or they're not switched on, they may lose a game. Still should always be the favorites, but it's possible they lose. And this Olympics was kind of summed the whole thing up. But also, I have not mentioned it, the USA women's team doing very well since their practice loss against Australia, or their exhibition loss to Australia. Playing Japan in the final tonight. Again, they've beat Japan by 27, but Japan are at home. And Japan also came out and beat France by 16, which was weird. It's weird. Home court advantage is a thing. Home court advantage really is a thing, to be honest. But then, in the Slovenia versus Australia game, Slovenia versus Australia, I mean, Doncic didn't really have it in him. He didn't play the greatest game. He really didn't. Turned the ball over 8 times. Was minus 16 on the floor. Zoran struggled a little bit. Like, I mean, Australia were just better. They were just better. I think Slovenia were a little bit shook after that. The unfortunate loss in the semi-final. But you got to give props to Australia, and especially this man right here. Oh, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for Paddy Mills, Dellavedova, Joe Ingles. I'm happy for Matisse Tybalt, who ended up getting being able to play for the Australia team, and as far as I'm aware, completely bought into everything. Whereas someone like Simmons, I don't even think people in Australia particularly like him because he never really bought into the whole. Like, it's weird when Australia are one of those teams where it's like they're like a real team. You have to kind of like buy into their culture. Whereas someone like a Ben Simmons didn't. Matisse Tybalt came right in and bought in. He was exceptional. Dante Exum playing great. Landale playing absolutely brilliant. But one big thing that came from this, and it's a huge worry. First of all, incredible performance there. But one thing that was a bit of a worry is Shams tweeted out this, and Australia's Aaron Baynes was missing. Sources say Baynes remains in hospital with severe nerve damage, an injury more significant than diagnosed, and he could miss the 2021 season. These type of injuries are not something where it's like you can say, oh, they'll be back in a year. Like, if it's nerve damage in his neck, he might be right in 2 months. He might never be right for his career. So, if you guys don't know what happened, he slipped in the bathroom. I'm not sure. I think he slipped on his way to the bathroom during the Olympics. Like, the guy legitimately his career could be done. An absolute freak injury. I hope it isn't, because while Aaron Baynes, yeah, he's not an NBA All-Star, yeah, he's a bit of a meme, the guy is a really solid backup center in the NBA. He really is. And it is just a pity. It's just really first of all, whatever about his basketball career, severe nerve damage in his neck can affect a lot of things in life. So first and foremost, hopefully he's okay. Secondly, hopefully it's not as bad, and fingers crossed, worst case scenario, like hopefully he's back in a year. But it's a scary one. It's a really scary injury. And then Kevin Durant. In fairness, I'm going to say this right now. Kevin Durant can talk as much as he wants. He was outstanding. Kevin Durant believes USA's skill is compared to the rest of the world. Talk about catching up. Are they serious? The skill is unmatched. I will say this. USA guards and wings. USA bigs are terrible. Like, Bam was fine in the Olympics. Actually, no, Bam was not good. Draymond, not really a big. Like, the bigs are way more skilled. But Kevin Durant, all I'm going to say is, are they catching up to us? In fairness, they're not catching up to Kevin Durant. This skill is unmatched. No, his skill is unmatched. The only people on that USA team that can talk, that can say a word, are Kevin Durant and Drew Holiday. Like, Bam Adebayo was outplayed by Landale. Bam Adebayo was outplayed by Willie Hernan Gomez. Heck, you could argue he was outplayed by Mustafa Fall. He was outplayed by a Fall that wasn't Taco. You can argue. But I'm going to say this. If this had came out of anyone's mouth but Kevin Durant, I would have a problem. But I don't. Man, Kevin Durant is unbelievable. Kevin Durant, I'm not going to say Kevin Durant proved in the Olympics that he's the best player in the world. Because anyone who believed before this is one of those situations where it's like, it's the same logic as I have towards the Jordan LeBron debate, that anything great Kevin Durant does now just means that the people who believe he's the best player in the world have more ammo. Like, they can have a better... They think, like, they're more justified themselves. I don't think he did anything to change anyone's mind, which is almost impossible to do. It's like LeBron. LeBron wins 3 more rings. All that means that the people already think LeBron's the best player of all time have more of an argument. LeBron loses. It's not going to make anyone switch from LeBron to Jordan. I think that's the case with Kevin Durant. Is that if you thought he was the best player in the world before the Olympics, he played well enough that you still think he's the best player in the world. If you didn't think he was the best player in the world before the Olympics, you probably aren't in your mind changed. All I'm going to say is that he is the best player at putting the ball in the basket I have ever seen. I have never seen somebody as good at putting the ball in the basket. And man, peak LeBron was great. Peak LeBron's great. You know who else is an unbelievable scorer of the basketball? Stephen Curry. Peak Stephen Curry was great. Peak Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know it doesn't look as fancy, but my God, can he put the ball in the basket? He's not this guy. Kevin Durant showed in the Olympics. Kevin Durant showed that he's Kevin Durant. That he's probably a top 10 player of all time. Like, you might say, oh, we need to wait till the end of his career. I mean, he doesn't even need to win another ring. I don't even think he needs to win another ring. I put him over Hakeem Olajuwon at this stage. Like, you gotta put him over Hakeem. Like, is he over Shaq? Yes. Is he in the conversation with Kobe Bryant? Yes. Like, obviously Kobe's won more rings, but again, Kevin Durant never played with Shaq, but at the same time, Kevin Durant did win his rings with the Golden State Warriors. But like, as an individual player, he could go down as top 5. Will he ever overtake LeBron? No, because for the first 12 years of his career, he was in the league with LeBron James and he was not the best player in the league. But like, when it's all said and done, being second best for over a decade to a guy who may be the best player of all time. I mean, if he's not, he's above Duncan for me. If he's not in your top 10 of all time, or he will be. He will be. Kevin Durant will go down as one of the greatest 10 players in NBA history. Steph Curry might. In this era, the only 3 that you could even argue are Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Maybe Giannis will get there. Maybe Luka will get there. But no, Kevin Durant, spectacular. But he can talk. He can talk. And I'm not going to argue. Like, I don't agree necessarily with his point. Like, the world as a collective are catching up. As in, if you took all the talent from America versus all the talent in the rest of the world, it's even. But no individual country has caught up to America. Without question, no individual country. Again, France is still running with Nando De Colo and playing Thomas Hurdle off the bench. With Frank Ntilikina playing minutes, there's no individual country that's nearly caught up. But at the end of the day, this guy right here, number 7, can have whatever opinion he wants after that Olympics. If it's coming out of the mouth of Dame Lillard, who actually played through injury. So it makes a bit more sense. He played through big injury, and you got to give huge props to Dame. And I love Dame. I love Dame as a player. I love Dame as a competitor. I love Dame off the floor. But he didn't play well. Obviously, he was injured. But he didn't play well. So Dame can't talk. If you're Zach LaVine, inconsistent, can't talk. Tatum, incredibly inconsistent. Man, Booker was horrific in the final. But the one guy that can talk is right there. And he did. And he's the one who can back it up. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So lads, Luka Doncic played one of the greatest Olympics I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it was just one bridge too far. And that's the reason I thought that if Slovenia had to beat France, I had a feeling that America would have beat them by 30, 40. And I think USA would have beat Slovenia by 30 or 40 in the final. I don't think it would have been close. I think they would have held Luka Doncic these low shooting percentages. And that's the thing. Like, you need kind of another primary ball handler, because there's no primary ball handler that dribbles the ball and commands as much attention as Luka, that can play that many games in that many days. It's really, really tough. And that's why I just think the Dallas Mavericks just need someone else. If they can find a way, if the Toronto Raptors somehow manage to buy out Goran Dragic, if they can find a way to get Goran Dragic there with them, they know how to play with each other. Both of them are very, very good at creating themselves. And again, their chemistry would be spectacular. It would be great. But one thing I love about Luka is right away after getting the bronze medal, it was nothing. Like, there was nothing about how he played. There was nothing about anything. All he said was, I'm sorry, I thought I wanted to get you a medal. And Eurobasket 2022, we're going to win that. I love it. I absolutely love it. So he's just come off the biggest loss of his career. And do not say NBA playoff games, because they're not. He's came off the biggest loss of his career, missing out on an Olympic medal, which even a bronze medal might be as important to him as an NBA title. Came off the two biggest games of his two biggest losses of his career, and the first thing he thinks is Eurobasket next year, we're gonna win that. I love it. I love it. This guy is gonna be one of the greats. He's already a Hall of Famer due to everything he's done, and it's because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame. The guy has won a EuroLeague title. Does he take a lot of ill-advised shots in the game? Yeah. Does he turn the ball over a little bit? Yeah. The guy's magic, though. He's magic, and he's going to be one of the greats. So, lads, he played a bad game. I thought he played a good semi-final. He just missed shots. He played a bad third and fourth place playoff. At the end of the day, though, that doesn't change the fact that he's played an all-time great Olympics, and that this may well be the start of a future top 5 player to ever play the game. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.